All right. Let's let those notifications go out. Oh, big reveal. Because I knew when God put it on my spirit. That's right. Hello. When God put it on my spirit yesterday before getting up here. Yeah. Okay, so you listened to it for the first time ever yesterday. Okay. All right. It's not right. It's not. And I listened to it also, and it all ties into radio frequency manipulation. It all ties into brainwashing. It's and as you'll see in the description, that song is "The Small World." Okay. Yeah, that is the underlying thing. Okay, it is a covert conformity. Yes. I said, oh, because there's certain key words that God had me circle. So like I copied and pasted the lyric. And you see I got my notes. Okay? I got my notes. Because I was like, there was something I said, this has got to do with, because we know how narcissists, right? They got perfectly programmed. And it's through the subliminal messaging. And it over time, subliminal messaging. And exactly, Chris, the song is cute on the surface because it's designed for the kid, right? But see, parent taking their kid on that little boat ride, right, at that theme park, and you're hearing the song. And when I listened to it this time, it's been years since I've heard it. But what I picked up on was the high and low frequency, the crescendo and decrescendo. Right? It's a small world, high, low, high, low, high, low. Right? Remember radio frequency manipulation. Highs and low. What does that do? Exactly. Tension. And then, right, push, pull in the background. Let me get these formalities out of the way and we're going to dive into it because there's a bit to unpack. Because like Chris said, the song is cute on the surface. But just bear with me because what do we know about the Matrix? And that theme park is a big part of the Matrix. It's the demonic realm. We learned down in the rabbit hole that those cartoons and movies that we watched growing up, the fairy tale, yeah, we didn't. Chosen one, we typically, I know God protected our subconscious mind. Glory be to God. Because, right, it that subliminal messaging and the images, the sexual images in those cartoon movies and other cartoons, come on now. But we never caught those as kids. It never affected us, chosen one. Again, glory be to God. Because when we learned about that going down the rabbit hole, I was like, wow. No wonder we have these narcissists with the spiritual wickedness in high places. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. You all can check out what we've got at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. That link is listed below. Some of you might need to copy and paste that to view what CHAAcademyBTBW.com offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. And I got to break this announcement here because I had to do this. I finally found a way around the resistance because there's a few who did book sessions through the website, and because they did that, right, I'm not able to like delete them, but I searched it found a app that is for Shopify to help. Right, we found an app for Shopify to help monitor that, because listen, if they're still living in fear a year and a half after working with this ministry, then they're not putting our tips and things into action. They're not doing the active inner work. They're not serious about healing from the trauma. And so if I go on there and I see, right, I saw one that booked an instant refund, because we're not wasting God's time. Because once I realize and catch on to what's going on, because I'll know, because that living in fear is one of the first things that we stop doing. Okay, that's one of the first things we stop doing. When God awakens us, that's the Godhead on the inside. God is love. Perfect love casteth out all fear. And so if I sense, because there was an email that they sent me before I closed that Jezebel case study, and I sensed the fear coming through. I sure did. Just a couple of sentences and a question, and I sensed the fear. And I thought to myself, okay, this is not right. Then I learned that Jezebel doesn't live too far from that person. So yeah, it didn't take me long to figure out who's who, and the gig is up, basically. So I just need to let everybody know that I don't have any qualms about that. I will cancel and I will refund. If I send, especially a year and a half later, they're still living in fear, that tells me you ain't serious about healing. That's it right there. So there's that announcement. So for any who comes across that message and that's happened to you, now you know why. Because I'm paying attention to that stuff. I can sense spiritual energy through email. I can sense it through text messages. I can sense it through the chat. Okay? I can sense the spiritual energy behind. Because that's one of the things that God had me work on. Because he knew I was going to be largely online. So, there you go. All right, thank you, Chris. So where we left off with that song, the hidden messages, big reveal, y'all. Big reveal. Okay. Aside from the fact that it is a covert conformity message, and with the repetition, see, that's how they get brainwashed. It's on that repeat, okay? That repetition to get it in the subconscious mind, okay? Because it's repetition for brainwashing. That's like psychology 101. It takes repetition like that. So, as you know, a world of laughter, a world of tears, high, low, right? Laughter is high vibing. Tears is low vibing. Tears and fear leads to instilling fear and sadness. Okay, a world of hopes, that's a high vibe, and a world of fears, that's a low vibe. Right? That's to keep James 1:8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So pay attention to this stuff, because then they say there's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. Really. Then telling us it's a small world after all, because we share so much that, what? Toddler mindset. Know how the narcissists are all about? Except for except for the toddler that wants to hoard everything and then take the one toy from the other toddler. Okay? But there's also that aspect of where, that's why, chosen one, when we are in a toxic environment with narcissists who are all about, oh, let's share, right? Share each other's food, share each other's space. You ain't gonna be able to see the abundance because they're all about sharing. Okay, I'm not saying, listen, y'all, I'm not saying don't share, but be mindful about it. Okay, discernment. Using that discernment. Because it's not a small world. It's actually quite large. Okay? It is quite large. And so then, right, it's a small world after all, and it just repeats. And then, like small, double time, right? That word small. Think about it. The word small in and of itself, right? Try to make people feel small. Okay, and just one moon and one golden sun, okay. As far as we know, that's true. See, and a smile means friendship to everyone. The hidden message behind that, this is what got us, chosen one, in the first reality with 2 rose-tinted lenses. Right here, this is what got us. Because we're told that the only bad guys in the world are the criminals, right? Okay, and so we're told, we're basically under the impression that if we smile at someone and they smile back, we got a friend. Right? So that tricks people into thinking that smiling at them, that automatically makes us their friend. No. When we smile, it's because we're overcoming evil with good. And because we smile, right, we got to remain kind in the face of evil, because that's a strength. Although the narcissists view it as a weakness, but we learn it is a strength. Because, boy, I tell you, it'd be easy for us to just, oh, yeah, be like them, huh? Angry all the time, in misery. Yeah, because they are miserable. And this is brainwashing song. Okay? So, though the mountains divide and oceans are wide division equals the wide path to destruction. That's that conformity message. Conform. Obey. And then again, the chorus, small world, small. Right? Repeat for more brainwashing and to instill the scarcity mindset. Along with the highs and low manipulation, with the frequencies, with the lyrics, the music, everything. And then you hear there's some bells that I heard towards I don't know, it was towards the end, but see, the thing is that they repeat that while you're on that ride, they repeat the song over and over and over and over through the whole ride. I don't know how long it goes. Doesn't matter. I don't remember, and that's not the point. The song itself is a brainwashing song. And then there's a lot of those like that out here. Oh, yeah. This is why we learn that we are going to be careful. Yeah, we're going to be careful what we listen to. Not that we don't listen to music, but pay attention. Just like the song by Vanilla Ice I told you all about. Ice Ice Baby, he's telling us about the radio frequency cooking us from the inside out. I catch this stuff. Oh, we catch it now because we're in God's reality. But we got to, pay closer attention to certain things like that. But that song right there, yeah, I mean, we know it belongs to, yes, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. It's a Disney song. Okay, and we get that. There you go. And I guess you could say it's one of their theme songs. I don't know, but it is a brainwashing tool. Because you get a kid, see, that's what happens to these narcissists. And so with all this repetition, it's no wonder that narcissists also operate on repeat. Yep. And I like how you put it, though, but it's so creepy when you really get it. Yep. And remember, because the enemy is all about appearances. So the enemy, made this song appear cute on the surface. But when you start peeling back those layers and you start really paying attention to the innuendos, okay. Right. And the Queen song, another one bites the dust. The lyrics. Yeah, well, see, that's what we. I know. But the thing is, it's so fitting because they are actually describing the spiritual awakening. How we're like, well, that's another narcissist. Well, there's another one. I'm like, oh. Yeah, so, when you really think about it, because it's through these songs. And then, listen, there's another one, okay, by Katy Perry, Hot and Cold. How do these narcissists behave, right? Hot and cold, hot and cold. I mean, she's telling us all about the narcissist. It really is. When you dive deep and you peel back the layers of that song and you realize that it is a brainwashing song that gets them to conform to this world. Because what did God say in Romans 12, verse 2, right? Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind can't be renewed if you are conformed to the world. So this song right here is just telling them, basically, it's narcissism in action, really, because it's just trying to get them to always think of themselves as being small. However, they develop that ism mindset, and they think they're bigger than they really are. And so narcissists operate on repeat as well, because that's what happened when because what happened today by someone who I now know is not serious about healing. And so I canceled and refund because we're not wasting God's time. And I know exactly what that was too, because I know what it connected to. And I know how long, we've been on the detox for 5 months now. And so I also know that somebody wanted to get some data. They wanted to see how am I really doing. I'm doing just fine. Chris can back us up on that because we're on this journey together. Because we're doing just fine. We're getting through it because God is getting us through it. And it's because we get our strength from Christ, not from our hair. Right, it is through Christ who strengthens us. And we get through. With God, all things are possible. You just got to trust and believe that. And stop believing the lies of the world. Because I'm here to tell you, once you understand that that's a make-believe world, it's all made up stuff out there, you start to realize, because it is the devil's playground, you see? And when I read about that company, that's part of the demonic, it is the demonic realm, part of the matrix, and I read that they are considered like the largest media conglomerate as far as revenue. I'm not surprised. Because that's just another way that the enemy wants to try and appear larger than he really is. Because narcissists operate on repeat, and so they become so predictable because of that. Right? Yeah, they sure do. They operate on repeat. And so when I saw that today, I went, I said, because that's how it started before. And that Jezebel came along a few months after, booked a session. After about 3 to 4 months, I was like, yeah, I'm starting to catch on. But because it was virtual, I had to go get confirmation in the physical and then close it out and bring you all the detail. And so after that, God revealed to me another connection. Because we know that narcissists will send a monkey across our path first. Because they want to see if there's any vulnerability still there. They want to see if you are aware, like aware. They want to, we are. Because we spot these narcissists left and right out here. Okay? We see that Cheshire cat grin, we know what we're dealing with. We see the look of hate, we know what we're dealing with. We see the evil eye, we know what we're dealing with. But virtually, it was a little bit trickier. Now, however, I can do so. Because I can sense, I'm just going to let y'all know, I can sense your spiritual energy through that chat. Thank you, super strong and fine. Yeah, spiritually strong, absolutely. And well, strong all the way around. Yes, we are. That's a great way to put it right there. That song, yeah, is the small world. That is a manipulation song. Absolutely. All the way around. Current it high and low at the frequency. Now, I understand because I played in band myself how music works together and how it crescendos and then decrescendos, right? I get that. But the extremes of that was just boom. And I knew towards the end of the live yesterday that that's part of what God was trying to reveal to me. Because we know that it starts in childhood for these narcissists. And I'm also coming to the conclusion that a lot of them actually don't realize that they are being manipulated on the societal level. They don't realize they're being manipulated by the devil. So it's really more or less like, okay. But yeah, we both are. We all are. We're getting stronger spiritually in all areas because we increase with the increase of God. Yeah. Yes, intuitive and sensitive in the sense that I can sense your energy. And I can tell that you're in a good place today, Chris. That's awesome. I have noticed, see, this is what I'm telling y'all, is that I can tell from when you first came forward, you know what I'm saying? We all have to lose some of those narc fleas. So I could tell that you are losing them. I could tell that, you're overcoming triggers. I can tell that. Because you're becoming more consistent in your energy. So I want to go ahead for all of you who I can sense that you are getting more consistent with your spiritual energy. I want to give you a huge round of That's right. Yep, because God always, as you're going to hear about more, God always applauds. He always applauds it. There you go. Our progress. I'm going to tell y'all something. Yeah. Just even the smallest thing as far as discovering a new method to keep the hair soft. Something like that. We're trying something we've never done before. Yeah. Because this intermittent fasting that I'm doing, the way that I'm doing, I've never done that before. And it's working because we're giving our digestive system time to recoup. And it's beautiful because, the smell of salt was so potent I could taste it. So that lets me know that this intermittent fasting, you can deduce and figure out what I'm talking about because you shared it, Chris, in one of the other live streams about, no, I'm not trying to be gross or anything, but the smell of salt, oh my goodness, I was like, whoa, I could actually taste it. And I went, I felt the heat. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of heat on the inside. So anywho, I was like, okay. And so that lets me know that, right, and I felt a little drop on the inside with body temp, which is bound to happen. That's supposed to happen so that we continue to circulate and get that excess salt out of the body. And oh my goodness. Yeah, because that was major progress. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. That's major progress right there. And so I said, all right, let's see, let's keep going. And so then the Lord said that I can actually have a small sandwich, a hamburger for dinner. I said, okay. Because yesterday was just simply grazing all day. So he said today, for dinner, he said I can have a hamburger with lettuce, tomato, onion. I don't know about the cheese yet. I have to talk to him about that. Because he let me have some mozzarella cheese with my Italian ground turkey meatball. So I don't know if he's going to allow me any more than that in a day. Because cheese is very, very salty. But the mozzarella that I'm using only has like 100 milligrams per serving. So that's really not that bad. And if I'm only eating maybe half of a serving, which typically when I eat cheese, right, I don't eat a full serving. That's something God revealed to me. So I have to keep that in consideration too. So if I do half a serving, that's only 50 milligrams of sodium. So that's not bad. And because we're still trying to keep the sodium intake as low as possible. We're not going to be able to avoid it 100% unless we're just going to eat unsalted rice cakes all day. Well, obviously, we're not going to do that. I don't recommend that. Your body needs more nutrition than that. Because even in the superfood that I make, there is small amounts of sodium here and there. Maybe 10 to 15 milligrams per serving. But I don't even count that because it's so low. So, yes. Okay, Jeremiah, you saw a greeting. We broke down that song, the Disney theme song. It's a Small World because it's a manipulation song. It is a covert conformity message. So if you listen to the lyrics, okay, because you're gonna want to catch the beginning on the replay. All right, if you come in and we're at the and more part, you wanna catch this again on the replay because I share all these notes about the song. Well, now you do, and it also, if you hear the high and low frequency manipulation, we know what that does, right? Right, it's traumatizing the autonomic nervous system. At the same time, brainwashing. Brainwashing. And that's how they get turned into narcissists. part of how they get turned into narcissists, because remember, that's slow and subtle, but it had to start somewhere, right? So yeah, so it's going to start in childhood with something like this, and how repetitive it is. Psychology 101, right? Okay. So yeah, it is. God put it on my spirit because, we ask about these things. Like, all right, so we're in the spiritual. So we know that theme park, right? We know that it's part of the demonic realm. We know that its movies have sexual innuendos. We also now know, we didn't before, but we do now. We also know that it is considered one of the largest media conglomerates, if you will, in terms of revenue. So that explains a lot. Because we know that the world has the love of money, right? The root of all evil. And so, of course, that theme park, all right, they're going to be, yeah. And not only that, it's part of how the enemy is trying to appear bigger than he really is. And with the small world, after all, make other people feel small. While these narcissists develop that ism mindset, they might inwardly, they feel small, but they think they're bigger than they really are. Right, that leads to that double mind they have. And so because of that kind of repetition, at that kind of repetition like that for brainwashing, these narcissists operate on repeat. So let me get back to what I was alluding to a little earlier before we got off the topic, on the topic of superfoods. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm going to see if I can't find the best way to articulate this, because narcissists operate on repeat, because that's what the repetition, what brainwashed them. And the enemy relies on short-term memory. So in other words, there's a Jezebel sends a flying monkey across my path again, okay, just the same way that it all went down. And I was like, oh, I see what this is. No, because God already told me that He's keeping people in this season. Okay, He wants me to tell y'all this. This is how I knew, because God told me already in this season, okay, of my physical healing. He says, I'm keeping people from booking sessions right now. God said He's doing it because He knows where we're at, and He knows that. Right, or on the mend, if you will. And He also knows some other detail. And so He told me that. God said, because I asked, I said, why? He said, because. He said, they're waiting on you to get fully healed. You need to be fully healed. Okay? I said, all right, in the physical. Okay? And so I said, I get it. Okay, I understand that now. So when I woke up and I knew that wasn't from God. So that's how I'm able to tell, because they operate on repeat as well. So because that's how it all started before. That Jezebel case study came across my path shortly after. And right, so we're going to try again. Because never forget, narcissists, when they get obsessed, right? Because that Jezebel case study was, she wants to try again. Well, no. Because God already said it ain't going to happen again. Because as they continue to age, they're just going to get more physically weak. And not only that, God said we are not going to allow ourselves to get put in that situation again. We don't need to. We don't need to close any case study. We don't need confirmation now. We got the confirmation that we needed. We saw the snake pupils. So that's not going to happen again. We're not going to let it. That's why. Because we ain't playing. The righteous are bold as a lion. Because I did not expect to be physically assaulted when I went to get the confirmation. No. But I was in serious observation mode when I got there. And I caught all of it. I caught the flamboyancy in real time. Because virtually, I would catch it all, but I wasn't. Yeah, I had to get the confirmation. Walking in the grocery store, bumping elbows with management. That's what a narcissist does. I saw the haughty spirit and all. Oh, yeah. And that Jezebel, it's like a Jezebel haze, if you will, or a trance. Okay, the Jezebel-like trance. And the tone of her voice, like she couldn't believe that, right? And then in the hospital, I can't believe they're not giving you pain meds. Yeah, go ahead, keep on telling on yourself. Well, I was like, yeah, no, I said, all felt too familiar. Story didn't add up. Major holes in it. Yeah, holes like in a strainer. That's how many holes were in the story. And underestimating, hello, I have a forensic background. Don't mess. Because the ex-psycho roommate also was his pretend mistress was trying to mess with, oh my gosh, never mind. Yeah, the tire tracks in the sand. You know, when sand gets wet, right? Okay, tire tracks. Okay, because she did. I saw her shadow move, and she was trying to trick me into thinking that she went on a trip with ex-psycho. I don't care. I would not have cared one way or the other, but they wanted me to care because I didn't know that he made me his wife in his head. And so they were, yeah, it was hilarious. That's the funny part of that. And so, I she realized that I noticed. Well, I saw the shadow through the blind. She was trying to hide. And then sand was wet, right? And so even though she tried to park her car in the exact same spot as it was the day before when I went to work, I noticed the tire track took me off about 1/4 of an inch. That is what forensics training does. It teaches us how to pay attention to even the smallest detail, because again, the smallest detail tell the biggest story. Sometimes. And so there's a little laughter for y'all, a little story time on that one. Yeah, I talk about that in Real Events of Narcissistic Abuse. Yes, in my book. Well, yeah, strong in psychology, yes, absolutely, because we learn. Columbo would be proud. That's funny. Good one. Yeah, Columbo would be proud of my observation. Yeah, but see, that's the stuff that we start to catch in God's reality, though, too. When we realize that they're trying to play, like they're having a pretend affair. I thought, oh, wow. Well, because narcissists operate on repeat. And he did admit to me that he cheated on his first 2 ex-wives, but not the third one. Come on now. Y'all know better than that. Yes, we do. We know better than that. Tried to convince me that that the third one, he didn't really. Come on now. Narcissists can't help themselves. They are always going to be walking this planet trying to please that flesh. Living in sin is what they do. They don't want to repent. They don't want to change. They don't think they need to. They don't want to unconform to the world. They are what they are, and they're going to continue to be the evildoers that God tells us about all the time in His Word. And so they operate on repeat to where it becomes nothing new under the sun, right? Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. So they operate on repeat. It's all they know. And never forget, because of songs like this, the brainwashing songs like that, right, all that repetition, it gets them perfectly programmed to operate on repeat. Right? Yeah. So they're perfectly programmed to operate that way. And so I would not put it past the enemy to be using radio frequency to activate certain behaviors at certain times, like a Hoover. Right? So we got to pay attention to this stuff. And it really takes a while to process. It really does. Because it's like, okay. So when God put that song on my spirit, I knew there was something about it. I said, oh, because I remember we're talking about, demonic possession. Like, when does it actually begin? How, right? We know it had to be low vibing, right? It had to be in low vibration. And never forget the low vibration. Okay, that is to keep. Exactly. Think about it. Okay, y'all. Because God was reminding me of this stuff too yesterday. Because I remember feeling that aloofness, right? Remember? Because we didn't realize it yet until God awakened us. But all that low vibration stuff, it kind of puts you in a bit of a trance, if you will, right? Yeah, think about road trips. The sound. Because I remember this. I did not have the radio going. I did not have nothing. I wasn't listening to nothing. I was talking to God as I was driving that U-Haul down to get that confirmation. And so I remember feeling, almost jet lagged, but not really because I'm on the same time zone, but feeling a little bit jet lagged because of the sound of the tires on the road. So I was a little, right? Okay. Well, before God awakened us and before I knew about salt and what it's used for, I remember feeling that way quite a lot throughout my life. And now we know why. Because that low vibration, right, is supposed to keep everybody. Yeah. Under control. But here's the truth. We get God's reality and we realize that, all of them in that matrix, they don't have control of nothing because they're trying to control what's outside of their control. And so the matrix is always out of control while appearing as though it is in control. Let that sink in. Yep. Right. To allow. Right, it's true. He would play dumb. Yeah, he did. He played dumb to allow the murderer to talk themselves into a confession or admission. There you go. Right. Act to fool the fool. We do. That's why when I turn a narcissist into a case study, I certainly don't tell them. No. We learn to just act the fool, to let the fool think they're fooling us. That's what we got to do. That's another way we overcome evil with good. Yep, that's another way that we overcome evil with good. Because, let's face it, we know the matrix rewards evil for evil. The matrix continues to reward their bad behaviors. But chosen ones, we stop. We don't engage in it anymore. We start losing those narc fleas and pick up our cross and follow Jesus, and that's it. That's what it's all about. And yes, excuse me if you see me scratching a little bit, but we in itching season. It's called healing. It's called healing, and I can't help it. I gotta scratch it. And now they want to, yeah, okay. I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that. Yeah, they want to know why their thing got canceled. I explained that in the beginning. So real quick, for those who missed it, okay, you'll hear about it in the beginning because it's an announcement that if people have booked session with me previously and they're still living in fear a year and a half later, I'm not wasting God's time, because that tells me they're not serious about healing. Because you can't be walking and living by faith and living in fear. Remember, fear is one of the first things that we overcome, because God awakened us to and from all of that, right? 1 John 4:18. And God is love. So perfect love casteth out all fears. That's one of the first things that we overcome in trauma healing. Because without doing that, then we're not going to reach full healing. And so I sent spiritual energy from a previous email. And the spiritual energy I'm sensing in that one, wanting to know why? Yeah. Is pushiness. That's what I'm sensing. Listen, the stronger in spirit we get, we're able to sense this stuff, even through emails, through the chat, through messages, text messages, all of that. Now I'm also sensing, I'm sensing the, they're not serious about healing because, love bomb. Was really looking forward to, and then want to know if they did something wrong. It's not anything wrong. It's just, I can tell whether someone's serious about healing from the trauma or not, because right there, if we have to ask somebody if we did something wrong, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. So we pay attention to this stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. No qualms about it, because I'm not going to waste God's time. If I know and I can tell that, if I can tell that they're not serious about healing from the trauma, and not only that, some other dots that I've connected, but if I can tell that they're not serious about healing from trauma, and remember, I shared with y'all, God told me, I'm not going to let nobody book right now. Because we got other revenue streams out here as well. We got books. We got the digital product line on Patreon. Right. Okay. We've got, we've got the Real Talk with God Wisdom videos available. We've got the courses at the Academy. That's a big one right there. Okay. We've got courses, the membership there, the Patreon channel membership. So we have other areas. So when God told me he's not going to let anyone book right now, as of the beginning of April 2024, and he told me why, I'm like, okay, I get it. So I knew that booking was from God. See, well, pay attention to this stuff. Because we don't owe anyone an explanation. Because I send the negative energy in those emails. And we're not having none of it. We're not having none of it. Yeah, we learned that right, and then I found a workaround in the website now, because, right, so that way, if they try to do that again, I don't have to mess with it. It will be automatic. Because the unfortunate thing is that once they book a session or something through the website, or made a purchase through the website, it won't let me delete. So I have to use a workaround, and we found one. So, like a filter, if you will. And so we've got that set in place now. Because it's unfortunate, but well, yeah. And then see, here's the other thing, you all. Behaviors, that after I closed that Jezebel case study and somebody decides to withdraw from the Patreon channel and then also unsubscribe from the newsletters, come on now, that tells me a whole lot right there. That tells me a whole lot. But then roughly about 6 months later wants to, nope. I know what that's about. Y'all know what that's about too. Because the enemy knows about where we're at in the physical healing as well. And so, the enemy is going to try to get me to do something for a whole hour that we're not quite ready for yet. Aha! See, there's always more than one reason why the evildoers and the enemy operate the way they do. There's always more than one reason. So never forget that. So if y'all got any more questions for us, just remember, when you catch this on the replay and you leave those questions in the comments, I will get to those as soon as possible. All right, everybody. So there is your breakdown. I know those of you will catch on the replay, the beginning, how I break down that song and how it is it's a brainwashing song for kids. It is a covert conformity message, and you'll get it. You'll get it because God had me circle certain words, and then and then listen to the highs and lows of the frequency, that radio frequency. And then, like Chris pointed out, that song is a manipulation song, psychologically and emotionally. But I don't sense anything spiritually about it, but definitely the autonomic nervous system being the physical manipulation. So we can pretty much now conclude that depending on how old we were when we first got on that ride, those of us who did, and heard that song, because we know that we don't start to become aware until about age 3. And we're not ready to go on that ride yet till maybe 5 or later, where we can comprehend. Right? We got to be able to comprehend those words. You would think. So, yeah. They start that early. Oh my. And that's going to take a while to sink in. Because I know there's a lot more that taking a while to sink in. That's right. It's great insight on the reveal of the Disney song, and it's important to have a look into this stuff to become aware. Exactly. So that we know, okay, hold up, because we are in a spiritual battle for the mind, and this is psychological manipulation. Okay, so yeah, that song will be in a lot of the kids' subconscious mind. That's the whole point of the song, is to be in the subconscious mind. And so, yeah, that's the whole point. That's where the enemy wants to get in there. Because that's where our thoughts are formed. And so he would like as many kids to repeat that song over and over again in their subconscious mind. Because the autonomic nervous system does what? It hallucinates based on the last known memory when too much salt is in the body. Because the enemy is not omnipresent, so he has to have something that will keep the brainwashing going, because the effects wear off rather quickly if we are aware of our subconscious mind. If the conscious is aware of the subconscious mind, that kind of manipulation wears off very quickly. There you go. All right, everybody. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance. That's right. Thank you. Right there. God will push it out and protect our mind. That's right. It's all part of the renewing of the mind. Thank you. That's awesome. He sure does. I feel him do it a lot. I feel God go, not today. Get out of there. Purge that subconscious. Yes, on this YouTube channel where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.